All right, I haven't been live down in the studio in forever. And since the new video will not be up until Sunday, I figured, hey, let's stream today too. Well, I was live in December, but that was on my phone. I think before that was maybe September or May of last year. It's been a long time, especially since I've been working on anything. So, I am working on this piece with a big waterfall, which has not been painted yet, so I'm just going to jump right in. I've got music happening in my headset, so if I'm ignoring you guys, feel free to bug me. And actually, I've been thinking it might be a good idea to try and monitor comments on my phone. That way I can actually see them. Probably a higher chance of noticing them. Where are my comments at? Comments. Live chat. There it is. There we go. Hopefully I should be able to monitor that from there without getting my phone dirty. Alright. I want white. I'm actually a little nervous to start this because I know as soon as I start it, I have to just go for it. And if I screw it up, then it's going to be terrible. Alright, I need a rag. Rag. Yeah, this is spontaneous. I wasn't planning on doing this today, but I'm sitting here. I'm like, it's a really late time for me to be even getting started in the studio, so just going with that. Okay. Start on the edge. So the edge is probably going to be the hardest part for this one, actually. Okay. Okay, that should give me the start I need. Get this side. Okay. All right. Hey, one of you was hanging in the comments with me this morning. She spins. Oh crap! I let my juice run out. Oh well, we'll get something else in a minute. Nice fancy dry brushing this morning. Already noticing that my straight lines are off. I'm kind of leaning to the side. Hey, did Corella? Probably gonna pronounce that wrong. Cordella. Sorry. Monitoring comments on my phone. It's really far away. Well, it's not far away. It's just small. I'm doing well. Need to refill my juice. I keep reaching back for it and it's empty. I'm working on a new painting called Immaculate Cascade. Big waterfall piece that I started like 2 weeks ago and have not been able to get back to until now. Also, do note there's going to be like a 60 to 90-second delay between your comment, me seeing it, and it being broadcast. So standard live fare. I try to go as low latency as I can, but I also like the quality to be decent. Okay. Occasionally, I'll be getting up to mess with my playlist. Yeah. Hey, someone else is here who up and coming artists. Morning. Or afternoon or evening, whatever the case may be. Oh, Cordelia. Okay. Sorry. I'd like to say I'll remember that now, but knowing me, I won't. So I apologize in advance. Bahamas, wow. It's got to be a lot nicer there than it is here. I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh look, it snowed again. Great, guess I'm not going anywhere. Not that it's a lot of snow, but I didn't need to go anywhere anyway. Just one more reason not to. Let's see. Do I find painting? I gotta turn my music down. Can't listen and think at the same time. Um, do I find painting water with acrylics hard? Do you also use mediums to blend better, and which ones? I think I'll reverse that around. I don't specifically use mediums to blend with. I've actually never ever had any retarder or anything like that for slowing acrylics. Although when I did start getting some of the open acrylics, that did change things a little bit for me in that sense. Um, Water is something that I've been painting for a really long time. I've definitely learned a lot of stuff over the years about it. Um, Specifically, that getting a good underpainting for water is really, really important. Which is kind of what all this dark yellowy mess is underneath. Like you can see, I'm covering a lot of that up, but I did it on purpose that way so I could have all of those underlying tones and colors showing forth from around it. Um, Moving water can be tricky, but as long as you take your time with it and kind of remember how water flows and like crashing, thrashing water, like down in here, we get a lot of smaller falls in here because it's basically like 3 layers of it. So big fall, and then a bunch of little ones kind of cascading down and in, and you know, it's one of those things where a good reference picture helps. I'm not currently using one, but I've always really loved waterfalls, and I've built up sort of my memory bank a lot of those things and how things look and how it pushes and moves around rocks. Um, because water being fluid, it's going to do that. It's going to loop around and push past. I'm trying to think that line from the Forbidden Kingdom. Um, Nothing is softer or more powerful in nature than water, or I'm paraphrasing, but really good adventure movie. I love it. I should watch that movie again. Um, it's like water can is so soft, but it can overcome something like rock. Um, so keeping that in mind while painting kind of keeps me grounded into what those shapes and what those lines should look like. That said, um, as far as like blending and that kind of thing, like over the years, I kind of started leaning into using like soft and regular gels, but they're more color extenders. A couple of years back, God, when did I do that painting? Um, I can't remember. I want to say 2012, which would make it 10 years old, which is kind of crazy. Might be a little newer than that though. A collaborative piece I did with my friend Marlena, and she introduced me to acrylic glazing liquid because I had never even like really heard of it. Um, but she does a lot of portraiture, both in oil and acrylic, mostly acrylic, and glazing liquid for her is really valuable in that sense. But from the, you know, core from when I started painting when I was 13 or 14, um, 13 I think. Um, wow, be coming up on 20 years soon. Um, you just kind of learn to manage, ironically enough, learn to manage water when you're painting. But for like waterfalls like this, it's more keen to using a good dry brush technique, and knowing where your shapes and your lines are. But yeah, like water management. And I've said in my videos before, it kind of depends on where you live and what your painting environment's like. When I was painting in my parents' basement, um, I had a little more workability because it was a little more moist down there, even with when the dehumidifier was running. Um, when I moved into this place and my furnace is literally right here, I noticed that my paints were tacking up a lot faster. So I had to kind of relearn how much water to use and when. Um, and as long as you paint a bunch, you kind of just to figure that out for yourself. But it is certainly something to consider. And as well as if it's you live in very arid environments, um, then you run into the issue of do I switch to another medium like the open acrylics or oils? And I have found fun stuff with oils lately, and finding certain projects. I'm like, this would just look better in oils, so I started doing more stuff that way. But yeah, I don't have a real issue with blending. It's just about how fast you work, and other artists I'm friends with, and I know just like my colleagues through the art collective and the gallery. Um, Everyone's when they see me work, they're like, "Wow, you work really, really fast," and but it doesn't the piece doesn't look bad because I'm working fast, I guess you could say. I'm not losing anything by working fast. I'm faster than most people realize when I work, and so I can, well, one, produce more, but also in being fast, part of that was just me learning to. Sorry, this is really long-winded to answer this question. Um, uh, Learning to work fast was about that idea of, well, the paint's gonna dry. I have to work fast. I have to find a way to make sure the paint still flows and works. And for me, that was just about learning uh, what I need to do to make the piece look the way I want it to, but also work as quickly as possible. Sorry, that was like probably the longest answer to that question I could have given, but I get a little excited talking about paint sometimes. Most times. Kind of let kind of let YouTube curate my playlist today, and I went from an Imagine Dragons a cappella to Crazy Train because sure, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm trying to keep this at least this first layer with the relative dry brushing. I'm going to come back in with some more white on a second pass to really accentuate and highlight some other stuff more. But the first layer is just figuring out where those shapes are. All right, let's see what we got here. uh, um, where are we at? I lost track of stuff now. I might just crack a Coke at this point. Um, I do have a few. One of my really old tutorials is about water base tones, and it's long and not that good of a tutorial, but uh, the whole concept of that is laying out a bunch of washy base colors, and I would have done more washy colors with this one, but I had a lot of underlying texture that I had to, because this was a canvas I painted over, so I had to rework that and compensate for it, so I couldn't do the washy colors that I would have normally done, but yeah. Um, Liquitex matte medium is okay to mix with the retarder. Yes. Any acrylic product can be mixed with any other acrylic product. Um, you can mix whatever you want, and in a lot of ways, you can come up with some really cool stuff mixing a lot of the acrylic things together. I actually have this stuff. So I have all my used paint jars. When I'm done with a palette, I'll scrape it in and make some nasty colors. I also have this one called used mediums. Um, so it's paint in the mediums all together, and it's this super thick, gritty, nasty crap. But it dries to these insane like peaks and anytime I'm doing some like crazy textural stuff, I'll use that because like altogether, it's all my gels, molding paste, light molding paste, which holds the texture and peaks anyway. Um, do I still have the coarse pumice gel? I don't think. I might have used that up just because I was trying to get rid of it. But yeah, there's coarse pumice in it, there's fine pumice in it, there's gels, there's like 6 different pastes. It's crazy stuff. And I hardly ever touch it because it's like, yeah, when I'm using my mediums and the gels and stuff, I use them up. But when I need something like crazy amount of rough texture, I'll use that stuff. And it's really useful for certain projects. Oh, now we're up to Matchbox 20. All right. Turn that back up. I like those guys. I should get back to painting this. Getting into talking too much. Glad my phone didn't automatically turn off, which is good. I'll just have to monitor the battery on that. I'm also making jerky today, so at some point I will have to go upstairs and flip those over. Like turn the oven on the lowest setting and just sit it in there all day. I've been experimenting with which cut of random grocery store beef works the best. Technically it should be steaks, but I'm not spending the money on steaks just to dry it into jerky because that would be insane. Where's my line at? Yeah, pretty close to that. And all of my rocks that you're probably seeing a little bit in here, that's all textural stuff too. I used, and why it's kind of shiny, it's the micaceous iron oxide, which is ground up hematite ore and iron oxide pigment. It makes this sandy, gritty texture. So all of my rocks got that as a base, and they do stick out a little bit. So all these the waterfalls and everything doing crashing over these rocks actually pops a little. Probably should have painted the dark colors before I went, because I have to go back and forth with it now. Because it's a top layer, and I have to go back to paint the bottom layer and come back in and paint the top layer again because I'm dumb. I'm not dumb, just wasn't thinking about it. I finished this first section. I'm gonna go get a can here because this is it's driving me nuts that I can't reach back and grab something. Especially like talking this much, I'm gonna need something to drink. Wetting my whistle, so to speak. I can barely whistle as it is. Let's see. Jeez, I'm like the worst at whistling. I can't get the tongue lip thing right. Nope. A little bit there. No, screw it. Can't do it right now. Not worth trying. One thing I can do that's stupid that a friend of mine taught me is the hand whistle. So you kind of put your hands like this and create a little vacuum for it and blow on your thumbs. So I can do that. But I can't whistle normally. What am I? Sleep. Am I painting on? Unless you mean this. I'm not sure. Typo or something there. This is just canvas. Just regular hunk of canvas. Just did several times, and I'm painting on top of an old piece. but which I think oddly enough was that? Oh no, I know what this one was. Okay, because it's the numbers set up vertically, so the original piece was that way. I prefer to do that if I'm painting over. I don't like to make the new piece usually the other ratio, because otherwise. And if you guys can't see something, feel free to say something, because I know I have a bad habit of moving the canvas closer to me, and then stuff's off camera, and because I'm focused on the piece, not on the video. Okay. Crack a can of... It's noon. I can have something other than juice. Not that I don't have juice other times of the day. Also really need a new webcam. The cord on mine's like... It took me like 10 minutes just to get the video, or the video feed to even turn on. Pretty sure the webcam's like 10 years old too. I got that when the Live Art Hangouts first started. Back when Google Plus was still a thing. No, before Google Plus was a thing. Holy crap. God, I'm such an old fart. All right. Surface, yeah. Surface is just canvas, but with a lot of layers of paint and gesso and medium to build up some other texture. A lot of what you're seeing, I don't know if you can see it really, but there's a little bit of a kind of a, you can see almost like horizontal lines this way. That was brush from my gesso that's still showing through. My goal was to eliminate as much of that as I could, but it looks like still some of it's still there. Okay, so I want to get a little bit more in here. We're a little bit too... a little too high with the taper. Okay. So, the next section down to be a little more... I do find myself doing better with smaller waterfalls rather than like this, trying to do the whole thing. I could use a bigger brush, but it wasn't really kind of what I was thinking for the whole piece. Come on, where are we at with our... Oh. I'll skip to that one. Do I only do landscapes, or do I do human subjects? No, I don't touch humans. I don't touch animals. Although, with the notable exception of, I did a pet portrait for my parents a little while ago. But that was I printed out a photo and I carboned the back and traced it, because that's the only way I can manage to do that. No, everyone, I'm very bad at the human figure. I mean, I know a lot of the sort of the basic principles of how technically to do it. I'm just bad at it. And I think for a lot of artists, because you're bad at it, you just don't want to do it. And for me, that was like I never really saw any improvement with how I was working with figures. Like, I can draw like a nose or an ear or a hand. Actually, I'm really good at. I'm probably not as good as I used to be, but um, the hand stuff. I used to do really surreal stuff back in high school and college. Um, my high school art portfolio was a series of like the hand of God kind of thing. So hands doing things. There was one like ripping apart a piece of DNA, or uh, a finger with a pulse line that was green, like lighting up a heart. And that was some really crazy experimental shit. But stuff like that doesn't really sell, at least not to in the circuit that I was kind of looking to. I find that most of the pieces like that, it was people were like, "Oh, that's interesting," and then they say that and they just leave. But a landscape is something more universal, so I try to just kind of work some of my weird stuff into the landscapes here and there, um, and then but still make it something relatable and easy to for people to kind of get behind. Um, but yeah, I've never been good with figures, and I was like, well, I don't. And the other thing too is not just because I'm bad at it, I never enjoyed it. And that's sort of the key with any kind of art that you want to do is if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. It's not rocket science, you know. Um, but yeah, so no, I would say mostly exclusively landscapes, especially these days because now it's like that's what people know me for. Um, and actually, even more interesting is a couple of years ago when I started putting the little actually that's another thing that was probably 10 years old or almost 10 years old. Was starting to put the little mini figures in all my paintings to add scale. Um, and now people that know my work look for those figures in every piece that I do, and if I don't put one in, at least one, uh, they're like, "Oh, but you always do that." So it's almost become a weird signature style element for me that I never intended it to be. But everyone's like, "Where's the little guy at?" I got to look for the little guy. It's like a Where's Waldo in all my pieces. So yeah, I keep thinking I got to make the people bigger, or more dynamic, or something like that. I've been just really I want to do a sort of a self photo session where I lay a sheet out and shine a light behind it and capture silhouettes of myself doing things so I can use those in a piece. Not the pictures themselves, but the shapes that I can then mimic and um, do things like that with. And then like painting the edges. Painting the edges are a thing that I started in high school because I said to my teacher like, "What do I do with the edges?" Like, well, some people paint them, some people just leave them blank, whatever. Um, and I started doing it just as a way to keep myself from needing to put things in frames because frames are too damn expensive. Um, and also, it's like, why should the painting stop just at the edge? No, keep it going. The only reason it should stop is because you ran out of canvas. That way, my pieces can just hang on a wall, and you don't need a frame because it's just like a window into this world. Okay, let's see, where am I at here? Okay, it's mostly pretty good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, solid colors on the edge works. I actually will do that for certain pieces. If I'm working on a wood panel, I won't paint around the edges the way I do on canvas. A lot of times those edges are just black. Um, Trying to think of it, if I have anything sitting around that I don't really do that. The little wood ones that I do just on a flat piece of poplar, those just get blacked edges usually. Certain cradled panels, I'll just stain the edges. I'll get like a dark wood stain and do that. Um, Actually, I bet I have one of those floating around. Somewhat close, maybe. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. Can I get over here without taking my headset off? Maybe. There we go. So this is a piece from 2017 called "Follow the Blood Trail." Um, Make sure I don't have that open, do I? Whatever. Hopefully it's not too glary, but because everything gets a gloss coat, so then it doesn't shows up weird on camera. So this piece is just sort of a grayscale with a red section in the middle. Because it's on this cradled panel, I just stained the edges of this. So it's a way to do it. I probably could have picked a darker stain, but yeah, you know. I had some clients come into my house last month and look through like literally all of the old paintings, which was cool because I got a couple of sales out of that. So that's something I wouldn't normally do with anybody, but like, hey, they already have your work and they want to buy more, so I'm like, okay. Plus, it allowed me to get rid of some old stuff that I've been sitting on a while, which is the goal: get rid of the old stuff. Of course, that stuff I do want to put up on my website and create a shop page for the old stuff sometime this year. Probably in the summer when I have a little more time. Not that I don't have time now, it's just other projects are at the forefront. Oh, we got Jason Hughes in comments as well. Welcome, welcome. Do I ever think of a custom-made frame? But by think about it, yes. But only in the sense that, wow, that would be expensive. I don't want to do that. If people like my work enough, they can put it into a frame and spend that money. Because there's no profit margin left for me at the point where I custom frame it. Because I price my pieces actually considerably lower than most people tell me I should. And that's partially because, well, one, this isn't my main source of income. I don't really need to. And two, I had this slogan that I was trying to kind of work into my stuff a while back called Art for the Common Man. And I hate the idea that art is this exclusive, high-end thing that no one can afford. I'm very much against that idea. So I try to keep my prices to the point where as long as you have a little extra cash to burn, you can get one, you know. Although there's a couple of bigger pieces I've done in the recent years that were notably higher in price, but that's more because of the time and skill level and work that went into them. Yeah, okay. I should probably get back to working here. Ooh, we got an acapella Africa going on now. Nice. Take a lot, drag me away from you. I'm sorry, I won't sing. I'm a terrible vocalist, so I won't. I'll keep you guys away from that. Okay. I do want to start working some mist into this soon before I get too far into it, but like I said, I am going to give it an extra coat of lights later, so. I don't know why I painted all this stuff on the top edges too, because I'm covering this with some like dark green foresty silhouettes later. I had to look at my notes for my sketch. I'm like, wait a second, what was I supposed to be doing with this? Stick to painting, thanks. I thought about recording goofy clips of me like jumping and dancing around in the studio to songs, but I'm like that wouldn't be good. At least it would be bad for everyone involved, I think. Also talk about like a copyright nightmare. Okay. Feels pretty good. Yeah. Alright. So, I'll swap to some Zinc White and get a little bit of extra lighter whites in here. Glaze in some of the water lines. Most of this color is going to stay just dark as it is. Ugh. For the uninitiated, Zinc White is exactly the same as titanium white, only transparent. And it's like it's one of my secret weapons for water. Okay. I see a thing in there about my inspirations. I do want to get to that because I've been. That's going to be a long answer to that question. But I really want to get some lines into here. And stuff. Okay, this actually do want to thin out a little. It's transparent, but I still need it thinner. Where some people might use like a GAC 100 for this, or a glazing liquid, I'm not gonna. And I will use glazing liquid for some water stuff. Especially if I'm doing something larger scale, but this is going to allow me just to kind of establish where the water is after it flows from the falls. And I'm probably going to use this for my mist as well. I have not quite decided what I'm going to do with that. Probably some stiff brush stamping or something. Owl City, nice. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That's exactly what I was looking for this. Holy crap, that lyric in this song just hit home. It was my imagination gives me wings and I can go anywhere. It's like, holy crap, that's what I'm doing. It's looking pretty good. I can be happy with this, I think. And it just kind of screwed up. I'll have to put something else over that. Grass or something. Some more of this zinc in here. Kind of want to use up the zinc at this point. I don't have a lot left, so I'll just give it a little bit more here. And I'll get back to the questions here. Because at that point, I do have to mix up some more paint while I'm building up that other stuff. We're doing cool gray for the rocks. Okay. Also, you notice this so far. This has only been with one brush. I have a lot of brushes, but I don't necessarily need them all the time. Oh wait, no, I gotta do the mist. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna wait to do the mist because I gotta do rocks and some back and forth stuff, and then we'll do that. Okay. Get a nice rinse on that brush. Okay. Just wipe that off, dry that off on my shirt. That's why I've got painting clothes. That's why I have more painting clothes than real clothes. I've totally ruined a pair of pants. Been like, oh, just down here and grab this real fast, and then I just realized oh crap, I just wiped paint on these pants. Oh well, I guess they're painting pants now. Like even when I'm just like lounging around the house, I'm usually wearing my painting clothes. On the off chance I might do something. Okay. Let's see. When it comes to sci-fi landscapes, do I have artists that inspire you? Yes, lots of them. Um, Actually, a lot of my recent sketches, with the exception of the pastel thing I did on this morning on my Instagram, all that other recent batch of sketches all were directly inspired by artists that I admire. I basically took one of their pieces, did one of my mini thumbnails, sort of similar to it, changed some stuff up and made it more my own. And actually, some of my best pieces over the years have been pieces that I've kind of done that too, like pulling from one or more pieces, usually more than one, um, and sort of remixing them into something that's more akin to the work that I would do. Um, Specific names, I've actually been working on. So yeah, so this is the long story short. Sure, this is the unless you follow me on DeviantArt, you wouldn't know this. Otherwise, I'm preparing to probably leave DeviantArt entirely. Um, it currently has sort of like the biggest backlog of my work, other than the Facebook fan page. Like even my own website doesn't have that many pieces on it. Um, but I don't really use that community anymore, and it doesn't go. Like I've been on Instagram for like a fraction of the time that I've been on DeviantArt, and I've gotten more attention and likes and follows there than I've ever had being on DeviantArt. So I might keep the account open just to kind of collect inspirations and stuff that way. But as far as the pieces on there, I'm probably going to be cleaning that out sometime by midsummer. That said, the reason why I had to tell that story is because a lot of the artists I follow there, I'm in the process of finding their other profiles, specifically like Instagram and Twitter, that I can follow them there. Because I really don't even check DeviantArt for their new stuff anymore either. Um, so the ones that come to mind off the top of my head, in terms of specifically sci-fi stuff, because I follow a lot of artists for different reasons, cartoonists and illustrators and everything. Um, there's a professional that actually works in a lot of Hollywood stuff called named Wayne Hag. You can find his. I think he's most active on Twitter. Wayne, his last name is spelled Haag. He does what I aspire to do, but in oils and very large scale, and it's really incredible stuff. Um, Chris Cold is one of the artists that I've been following for years, and a lot of my pieces in the past 10 years became a direct influence from a lot of his stuff. His stuff is very painterly, sci-fi, and dark. He does a lot of like gateway to hell demon kind of stuff that I'm like, yeah, that's the stuff I really love. Noah Bradley's work is always been a big inspiration to me. Despite how you feel about his behavior in recent years, but I won't get into that. Sam Barley, Andreas Rocha, spelled Rocha, I believe. Sam, did I say Sam Barley? I think I did. There's so many. It's really hard to keep up. Those are the ones that come to mind off the top of my head though, because I've been looking back. JJ Canvas. She's got a he, I think, actually, come to think of it. I keep thinking it's a woman, but it's not. They've got speed paintings up on YouTube as well as stuff all over the place, Instagram and stuff. Yeah, JJ Canvas is really really good. That's leans a little bit more fantasy than sci-fi, but definitely one of the big ones. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind because they're like the ones I go to for finding new ideas for sure. Let's see what we got. Mixing with Zinc White. Yeah, it's really good because it doesn't overpower things a ton. I think Liquitex might call their Zinc White transparent mixing white for that very reason. Um, yeah, when you see some of the other artists' work, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see stuff like, oh yeah, I see where he's coming from there with finding inspirations and things like that. Um, if you guys join the Discord community, I can share some of the pieces that those artists made that literally directly inspired me to make pieces, and you can actually see that side by side comparison. Just remind me to do so later because I'll forget. Um, so I know this was for her, but here for an artist on YouTube to stay away from Zinc White. Don't. Don't. I mean, any advice, even anything advice I give you guys, take everything with a grain of salt. Um, don't learn from one source. Don't think that one person is more right than the other. Uh, only you know what's gonna work for you. This is some of my used paint gray that I use for rocks all the time. Oh, my music playlist is done. What the heck? Where are we at? I gotta get a different set. I'll go with that one. All right. So build a little color into the rocks here. Would help if that wanted to load. Yeah, screw it. I'll switch to the actual. Uh-oh. Did I lose connection? Better not have. All right. What the heck? Huh. Must just be for me, and I don't know why. That's really screwy. What? What the heck's going on? Is that? Yeah, it's definitely still good there. It must just be I don't know why things are being weird. Also, I feel like I'm out of focus again or something here. Could just also be that the camera is really old and I don't get the... Oh, there we go. I don't know how the focus gets off. Like I set it to manual and it still gets off. I don't get it. Okay, let's see if I can refresh this page without things getting screwy. It shouldn't matter. Shit. Damn it. What's going on here? Don't be maxing out or something here. think my browser might have crashed here. I'm really sorry. I'm hoping it's still running, because I don't know what's happening. Forgive me if things disappear for a minute. Go. Hey, I'm back. I don't know if I ever left for you guys, but I don't know what the hell's going on today. Let me check something on this side. Sorry. I don't know why it's bad on my end, but everyone else is okay. I'll probably just try to keep continuing here. Yeah, I mean I'm still getting playback through my phone. It's just I don't know what the hell's going on over there. All right, well, screw it. It's not important. If you guys can hear and see me, then we're gonna keep hearing and seeing me. I do want to get my other music going here because that was important. To be fair, I am running all of this on my old computer, which was starting to show its age and some issues anyway before I rebuilt. So anything that does happen, I also have to remember that these are all running hard drives and not the SSDs that I have upstairs, so they're going to be slower. I'm used to things being a little more snappy now. Sorry about this. Yeah, I'm just getting some weird hang-ups on the system itself. To be fair, it happens every time I stream on this machine. It's because it can't quite handle it. Oh well, hopefully that'll play. Just have to get back to painting in silence, the horrible thing that painting in silence is. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Hmm. I don't think it's a video card. I mean, to be fair, the video card's super cheap in this thing. It was basically the video card in this thing only exists to run my screen. Yeah, that's so weird. Oh, and now the media player doesn't want to work. Great. I swear. All I want to do is listen to music, damn it. Not even going to let me do that. Screw off, computer. All right, well. Yeah. Paint some rocks here, damn it. What the? Why? Play, for fuck's sake. Why does everything not want to work all of a sudden? Seriously. Is it that hard? Nope. Okay, media player doesn't want to work either. Seriously? I don't understand why everything has to be so damn complicated every time I want to stream. And now the browser crashed again. Fantastic. I swear. This is the worst shit. I might have to call a stream here. I don't want to. Because apparently nothing wants to work. It's like, hey, remember how we were working? Yeah, we're not going to work now. Yes, it shouldn't. The thing is, it shouldn't be slow response time in my internet service because I have really good freaking internet. My paint's drying. Yeah, let it. Whatever. I'll let it go. The thing is, I want my music to. Very least, I want some music to play, and I can't. Fucking. See, this is the kind of thing that gets me to quit painting in a day. It's like, oh, I'm having problems. I can't get this to work. Screw it. I've lost all motivation. But for you guys, I'll keep painting because I just. Because I like you guys. I want you to see some stuff. Got too much water on my brush now. It's probably the hard disk starting to die. Which does not make me very hopeful for the future of this thing, but that's why I've got my good machine upstairs. So quiet. I mean, it's quiet for you guys too, but still. The lack of background noise drives me nuts. Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but oh, that whole thing's a big rock. Didn't even see that from there. That water line doesn't make as much sense now. crap! I gotta go flip the jerky at some point here too. Keep forgetting about that. I mean, it's not that it's gonna make a huge difference, but. Also, highly considering doing a little bonus Twitch stream tonight. If you guys want to come watch me play games, probably around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. I've been playing this game where the art and music was done by Studio Ghibli, and it's really awesome. Mostly just been playing on Tuesdays, but also was level grinding yesterday, and I wanted to get a little extra story in before next Tuesday. Because I didn't do this with the rocks earlier, so now I've got the problem of the color under the waterfall not looking right. I said something before. I think I said something before about doing things backward. Yeah, this is the problem with doing things backward. That's alright, not the end of the world. I can just work some other color around, do a little glazing later. I should be able to fix that as an issue. Alright. Still have no idea why that's not playing back over here, but I'm not dealing with it. And I'm gonna grab a little my titanium buff here. Maybe that'll play someday, who knows. This tube is almost empty. But I'm trying to figure out how I don't use big tubes. Because I mean, I have jars for a couple things. Actually, my yellow's in a big tube since I'm switching it back from the jar. But I'm trying to sort of plan a video, if I can come up with all the things of how I do it, because I don't know, of how I manage to not use crap loads of paint and still make something that looks like I did. So yeah, that's a lot about when I first started doing tutorials. It was one of those things that I kind of learned really quickly about making tutorials, is that in order to do so, you have to kind of think backwards. Quit telling me to stop worrying about it. That's what my brain does. Now that it's a problem, that's the only thing I'm thinking about. And that's what sucks. Okay. Put a little light on these rocks. I'm thinking probably like roughly upper right light. Top down from the right. So we can work with our light that way. Because I have all that underlying texture going on the rocks already, all I'm doing is just kind of lightly dragging that brush over it to get the texture that I'm getting. Time to get a technician out. I believe you mean therapist. Oh, you're talking about the computer. Well, I built the computer, so I can't I can't call someone to fix a problem that I made. Made. That's the thing with building your own system is you are tech support. No, I'm more than sure it's just the hard drives hang up. Since my music player won't work and there's the issue with Firefox as well. But OBS is doing just fine. So and that is more than likely because I think the music and the the browser are both on the same hard drive, and the music might be on the iDrive. But OBS, I know for a fact, is on the other drive, so that's why it wouldn't be affected. Might be the other way around. I think the browser and the music are on the second hard drive, and OBS is probably on the C drive. So, oddly enough, the non-primary drive seems to be the one causing problems. Also, I have no idea the last time I defragged this thing, so that probably has an issue as well. Not that I move a lot of files back and forth on this machine, but still something to do. Run like basic monthly diagnostics. Run OBS. Run CCleaner. At least I used to do them monthly. I should do them monthly. I tend to not, though. Tacking up a little bit on that side. Right, that looks pretty good. More of that pure buff up in here. Then I'll get my funny blue out to kick that contrast up and mess with the shadows. Okay, this stuff can go into the used paint jar. So I don't need that, and the white I shouldn't need again for a while. Yeah, the other thing too now is like, see now my whole demeanor calmed down because I don't. The music pumps me up. Now I'm just relaxed and not as happy as I was. All right. Oh, I finished that. Cool. Note to myself from like 2 weeks ago. Blue, right. Other secret weapon. Smalt blue for shadows. Can't remember if I made that video or not. I don't think I did. It's like secret, like 5 secret weapons for painting. It's driving me freaking crazy. Hang on a second. I bet VLC will work. Hopefully. Maybe. Still gonna paint. I just corner of my eye. I can probably. Oh, no. All right. Music. Actually, in theory, I could stream the music from upstairs through the network. Let's find something. This whole one's pretty good. I'll grab that one. I will grab. So now basically I have to build a playlist. That one. This one, 2. We'll grab. That will grab. And that one. And what else? One more, I think. Just enough to get me through the next hour. That works. I'll go with those. Is this one gonna play? Please. Please. Nope, still doesn't want to. Damn it! Crap. Well, I want to put these shadows in and then probably call it a stream because this is driving me absolutely insane. The worst part is I know as soon as I call the stream and end it and close everything, everything will probably start working again. And that makes me even more mad. Because I was really hoping to stream for like at least 3 hours this afternoon, but no. OBS has to be screwy. No, it's not OBS, that's the problem. That's the worst part of it. It usually is. It's also why I don't get more painting done because I get so damn distracted by other shit. Could call that the point where things started being weird on stream. The point where everything goes wrong. It's really hard for me to even enjoy painting now because everything's just not working the way it should. And we're also pushing closer to lunchtime, and I have not eaten anything today, so the lack of energy from, not eating also is, a thing. At least this is like base shadow, you could say, because I'll come back in with my my liner at the end of the piece and really make everything pop out a lot more. But all right. That feels pretty good. Probably end up doing some glazing it with the water later as well. Probably with some of this color and some others. But it is what it is. Okay. One more thing here, I think, before I call it, is I do want to get that. Do want to get the mist in here. So actually, you know what? I want to get a bigger brush for this. I've got this one that I've been dying to try out. This is technically what they call a paste brush for conservators. Really, but it's stiff, probably natural bristles, based on how they feel. Kind of wide, and it already looks kind of like a worn out brush, so I should be able to just tap some Zinc White into this um, for what I'm doing. And I think I will actually use a little bit of the GAC 100 for this, because I don't want to totally thin it with water. And it would really help if there wasn't so much dried paint in here that it wasn't going to come out. It's my one complaint about, wow, it's just not even a little, wow. I'm going to have to completely clean this cap out apparently, because, yeah, that's not, none of that's coming out at all. It's my one complaint about these nozzle caps that Golden puts on their stuff is they fill up with paint, and then getting them clean again is such a pain. I feel like there should be a better way of dispersing paint than having those funny little pore spouts. All right, a little bit of that. Still want some water, but not so much that it destroys everything. All right. Just a little back here to do that, and pull the rest away and just dry brush it. Tap, 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 tap. Might bring a little titanium on top of this, but not a lot. Dried fleck of paint in that. Actually, just a few layers of the zinc might just do the trick. That way I'm not going to overpower it too fast, you know? Just slowly build that up. Okay, that's good. So yeah, I do want to get a little titanium back as well. But don't want to overpower it. Got to be really careful that I don't use too much. A lot of times, normally, if I had actually done this a lot slower, I probably would have just done this with spray paint. But it's important to do different techniques and keep challenging yourself. So, plus this adds a little extra texture element to the piece that I'm sure will be valuable later. That's kind of why I bought this brush, was specifically to do stuff like this, as well as using it for certain foliage techniques, but mostly this stuff. Misty, textured stuff. Yeah. That's another one that's probably going to get another layer of the titanium at some point, but that's a good start for sure. All right. Well, yeah, I really want to go check on my jerky as well as eat something and figure out what the hell's going on with this computer. But how long have I been working? Close to 2 hours, I think, which is normally pretty good for me. We started at around 11:30. Wow, we started at 11:30. Yeah, we are coming up on. We're coming little under 2 hours. But that's no wait, 11:30. Yeah, okay. So like an hour 40ish. No, yeah. I'm bad at time. Whatever. Yeah, hour 40. That looks right. I feel like that's pretty good. I do like to keep the live shows, at least on this channel, under a couple hours, just because it's harder to go back and rewatch a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I think that's a good one. So I'm gonna post this up to Instagram once I finish everything out, and then clean my brushes and do all the other general cleanup stuff. Just scrape this back in here. So it'll be probably one more sitting for this. Next time I sit down and work on this, it'll be, I'll drop the figures in here, I'll kind of finish up the water, glaze in some more color there, And then the upper layers of this, I really want to keep the foreground a lot darker, since the background being the waterfall is so much brighter. So I'll come in, I'll grab the sketch here. So for the sketch, it's it's really everything's focused on the water and the thrashing and cascading of the water, and then so I on the couple of places like here, here, and here, I want to just drape in some foliage. Although part of me wants to make them palm tree branches. I think that'll add an extra layer of depth to this. That in fact, you know what? I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. Because I haven't done a palm tree anything with palm trees in a long time. And they're really fun to do. So I'll make that note for myself. But yeah, so I think this was a really good session. I was glad I was able to share it with you guys. Sorry my motivation just dropped off as soon as I hit that weird technical hiccup. But that's the problem with with how my brain works. Is it's really quick that I could like, oh, something went wrong. Screw it. That's it. But I imagine I'll work on this again tomorrow, and if be sure to check my Instagram for progress shots, and what I used to say, Facebook, DeviantArt, and my own website for uploads, and now it's going to be Facebook and just Facebook and my own website for new piece uploads. And of course, you can see my work in person at the gallery, Red Fishbowl Studios in Lawrenceville, Pittsburgh. For the seeing stuff in person if you happen to live in the Pittsburgh area. So that's it for me today. As always, thanks guys for watching. Keep on creating, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and before I do, the new video is a quick tip. It'll be up tomorrow.